Thank you so much for joining our second evening of a 3 teaching series. And we're basing it on the Lama Tsong Khapa Guru Yoga practice, one of the fundamental Guru Yoga practices. And I'm going to share my screen, and we'll use this practice as a basis of our motivation and our prayers and practices like that, and talk a little bit more about this profound practice. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to settle into a comfortable position. And we're really going to use this as if we are in a practice session right now. If you'd like to just close your eyes for a moment. Just slowly begin to stabilize your inhalation and exhalation. And just to clear out some of the subtle cobwebs in our energy system, let's do the 9-round breathing. And there's variations on this. I like to begin with an exhalation. So as you close off your right nostril, let's exhale deeply through the left. And then as you inhale, switch nostrils and inhale deeply through the right. And as you do that, imagine you're lessening anger and hatred in your mind stream. Let's do that 3 times. Our next round, we're going to reverse. We're going to exhale deeply through the right nostril by closing off the left. And as you inhale, close off the right nostril, inhaling deeply through the left nostril. And as you do this, imagine you're lessening attachment and desire from your mind 3 times. Our third round, we're going to exhale through both nostrils. Inhale through both nostrils. Imagine you're lessening confusion and ignorance from your mind 3 times. And just reflect on Lama Tsong Khapa, our patron saint, and imagine as if he's in the space in front of you. Two disciples, one at each knee. And if you'd like, you can imagine at his heart is Shakyamuni Buddha. And at the heart of the Buddha is your teacher, your root guru, if you have one. And if not, you can visualize Lama Zopa Rinpoche, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, any other teacher you may feel associated with. Just imagine they're all one. All that enlightened energy there. And just imagine now, seated around you to your sides. You can place your family, people you like, colleagues, neighbors, your community, even challenging people you place in the space around you. Just imagine all these living beings as it stretches out and further and further. And all of these beings, please take a moment. As much as you can, expand your mind, your consciousness, to explore all the different ways they are challenged, all the various sufferings they undergo. And while that may be unpleasant, we want to remind ourselves why we are here right now to do this practice. It's for them, for all of them. Whether we like them or we don't, whether they help us or harm us. So what we'd like to do is find a way to invigorate a consistent practice that will walk us to enlightenment and that will get us there quickly, because so many beings need our help and they don't have dharma. They don't have tools or techniques to get them free. So we have to do this work because we found this jewel. So just as you reflect on their lives, their challenges, their confusion, their pain, as deeply as you can feel in your heart, just imagine, wouldn't it be great if they were free of this suffering? Wouldn't that be amazing? Everybody free. So can you dedicate yourself in our short session to try as best as possible to focus, to be present, to build a little consistency with this practice, a little deeper understanding. And can you use it in your practice, in your life, so that it helps you get to enlightenment as quickly as you can, once again, so you can best benefit all of them. And a byproduct of that enlightened state is you do it completely blissfully. completely free of any suffering. So just feel that in your heart. If that's a place you'd like to be, can you set your motivation from there, dedicate yourself in that way, or at the very least, placing your mind in the most positive direction. So before we start the practice, relax. So I just want to mention a little bit what happens in our daily practice, our daily lives. And a number of people that I know, a number of students I talk with are somewhat challenged because they're not seeing results so much, and they keep getting hooked in our everyday mundane situations of life. And something doesn't work out, and we get frustrated, and we get anxious, and we get depressed. And then I hear people talk about the situation in the world now, and that, and hanging on to it as if it's a concretized thing. And then they try to go back to practice, and they try to include and try to get that practice going, right? But they don't have enough habit of it. So they're easily distracted, and things interrupt it, and we don't make time for retreat, and we don't want to do this course, and we don't want to read that book because there's something more delectable. But then what happens, the reality is, you're not creating the causes to move along this path. Sorry. Okay, so this does take effort, right? Consistent effort. And you try your best, show up for your best to do some of these, but you have to kind of really waltz into it, really want it, and really start creating something every day to create those habits. And that's what's really hard. And then what'll happen is we're in a situation right now, as many of you know, that are a lot of the older generation teachers, the ones that actually fled out of Tibet, a lot of that generation has passed away. As we know, Lama Zopa Rinpoche passed away 2023, and there's very few of that generation left. And there's even some older than Rinpoche. There's a couple that I know that are still around, a couple of those generation lamas, but more and more that generation. But there is a younger generation coming up. There's also Western teachers like that. So, but what happens is we don't feel that connection with Guru devotion. We don't understand it. So I would recommend on the side, if you like, because the teacher for us, and more, and some of you know I was making these satsa's to finish a commitment from Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And I have to say, without any great realizations, I feel the blessings because I followed Rinpoche's advice. So there's something very magical and something that's not magical but very significant about following the advice. And I really teach a lot from here is follow the guru. I can't say it enough. Find your guru and follow them. And I have some gurus that I never met, honestly. So it's not, you have to, from your side, really want that guidance and follow the guidance, especially if you ask specifically for something. So they could be male, they could be female, they could be non-binary, Western, Tibetan, like that. And check them out. Don't just jump, check them out. There are some very qualified teachers around like that. So I do feel the blessing that helps me. It inspires me, helps me go on when I get into trouble. That's where I'm seeking advice, here in the heart center. They're there. And this practice is something that helps connect you to that. Then when you can take highest yoga tantra initiation, you'll have a deeper, a little bit more understanding, more can unfold like that. And it gets more exciting and richer like that. So I want to mention that because a lot of people come to me, I don't have a teacher, what do I do? But a lot of that is past obstacles from, not engaging much in practice and not really wanting that from the heart. The teacher requires a little bit of surrender, okay? But the thing is, you're at the controls. Nobody's controlling you. But you really have to want freedom, I think. So look at your relationship with freedom. In our culture, we have a relative sense of freedom. We're really fortunate. For instance, if you want to go out to a cafe in your neighborhood, you can go and you can order any kind of coffee you want and have any kind of cake there I want. You can go anytime you want. So we have that kind of freedom, okay? But still we're unhappy, okay? Because we don't have it in here. We don't have it in the heart, deeply in the heart, in the mind, okay? So the teacher's really grace is kind of the red carpet rolling out for you. It's amazing. But again, we don't have much context in that in the West. So there used to be a time when I got into the Dharma and everybody was practicing really hard and doing like trips on and off retreats in India and teachings with the Dalai Lama and different things like this. And so you got kind of caught up in that backdraft of all these people, and you'd hear that, oh, somebody did this retreat and somebody did that. So it would inspire you. These are Westerners to say, oh, I want to do that. How do you do that? Where did you do your retreat? People were comparing notes and things. So it was like contagious in a really virtuous way. And it was really beautiful. Okay. And all with the blessings of all these gurus that we were constantly taking teachings from, receiving initiations, and all that created a blessing, this blessed bubble like that. We talk about, and I came later, so some of us talk about the golden age of the 90s of what was going on in California. But that was late because in the 70s, they had a golden age when the people that started our monasteries, our centers, like that. So you can create that again. You can create that at Shantideva Center. You can create that at any of the centers in your own life. That richness can manifest, and it's exciting. But you have to kind of get down to the cushion and do your meditations and study and understand like that. So I just wanted to mention that. So I just want you to think about Lama Tsongkhapa again in relation to a possible teacher you could find if you haven't found one yet in this life. But here's some things from the Lamrim meditations on Guru devotion. So it's really important also to study the Lamrim, know it backwards and forwards, know the main topics so that you know what to meditate on. Because the Lamrim holds your whole life. All the solutions are there. All the solutions for life's problems are there in the Lamrim. I'm not kidding. Okay. But it starts off as a preliminary as Guru devotion. That's even before the Lamrim starts, Guru devotion. And it's really important meditations. And one of them that I really love, that's really moved me, is I'd just like you to contemplate this for a moment as our kind of foundational meditation to work our way into the practice. Is in one of the things it talks about is the Guru is kinder than all the Buddhas. The Guru is kinder than all the Buddhas. Okay? And the Guru acts as an agent of all the Buddha's activities. So you go, what does that mean? Okay. So let me put it this way, is we hear about Shakyamuni Buddha, but we never met the Buddha that we can remember. Right? And we may not be pure enough to see the Buddha if he walked by, because you need some really pure karma to be able to see enlightened beings or to be able to see somebody as a virtuous person. There are people that would see His Holiness the Dalai Lama and not have any context of who he was, like that. I mentioned that I traveled with a Lama, Kirti Senchab Rinpoche. I traveled with him for a couple of years around the world in 2000s and the 90s in the States for a couple months on some tours with him. And I saw at airports who saw him for what he was, who was kind of afraid of him, saw him and was afraid. Based on your karma, what's in your mind, how you take that person in, okay? So we might not be able to see the Buddha, and we certainly didn't live at a time we don't remember Shakyamuni Buddha if we lived at that time, okay? But how fortunate for us that Lama Zopa Rinpoche manifested. Maybe you didn't meet Rinpoche, but maybe you saw His Eminence Ling Rinpoche when he came through recently, Jado Rinpoche when he came through recently to New York or Shantideva Center or whatever center you're near, like that. Okay. So what happens is these certain beings, and you could take female, Khandrola. I sometimes see Lama Zopa Rinpoche's sister, Anila Nawang Samden, is a holy being, female emanation, like there could be anybody. And you sometimes see these other beings, right? And they're doing work, and we have the karma to interact with them. We see them, and we see them as monks, nuns, lay people. We have some respect for them as teachers. That's great. So in a sense, they represent, the Buddha kind of sends them out there. That enlightened energy is around us all the time. It's just whether you choose to connect with it or not, whether you choose to respect it, to see it, to seek advice, to follow the advice, to hear the instructions, like that. And so even Lama Zopa Rinpoche has all these videos. He did all these videos during COVID. They're all online, all these instructions, life practice. It's all available. I've sent that out before in a sheet to people. So what you could do is see what it says and start with something. Go through. Do one thing at a time. One thing at a time, and you try, incorporate it into your practice. It takes a lot of effort. Try every day. And the blessings come. The blessings are there. Blessings are there. But it takes time for you to have the faith in that. Okay? So first we've got this emissary. The guru comes out as that agent to do the Buddha's work, because we don't have the karma to see the Buddha. So how fortunate for us that we do have the karma to recognize these teachers to some degree. So that's great. And then saying the guru is kinder than all the Buddhas, how does that work? So they talk about in these teachings as if there was, I've mentioned this before, as if there was a Buddha convention. So all the enlightened beings, there's many Buddhas, not just one, not just Shakyamuni. So it was like they had a Buddha convention to meet, to talk about who they were going to help, which sentient beings. So can you imagine? Right? So there are beings in pure realms right now. We hear about Buddhist pure realms. And pure realms, they're not the God realms, okay? But the pure realms are places where you have every perfect condition to practice Dharma. And so one of the lamas explained to me in a pure realm, he said this was Lama Lundrup, who was the abbot of Kopan, who passed away. He's beautiful. He's reincarnated, but he was one like my spiritual father, just a beautiful being. And one time we were talking about the pure realm, and I was going to Laudo for the first time, and he said Laudo's like the pure realm. Okay, so and then Lama Lundrup said to me in the pure realm, he said, "You want a cup of tea?" He said, then perfect cup of tea appears. He said, "You want an apple?" Perfect apple appears. Because in the pure realm, you don't need to work for anything, whatever, and you don't really need food anyway, okay? Because all you're doing is practicing Dharma. You're about to get enlightened, actually. It's really high level. You're about to get enlightened. So the Buddhas at this convention, a lot of them were going to go there and help with the subtle obscurations of these beings to lead them to enlightenment. It was easier because all they were doing was practicing Dharma. So a lot of Buddhas are like, I'm going to go to that pure realm. I'm going to go to that pure realm, right? And then here we are on a world system called Zambu Ling, planet Earth. This is where we are, okay? And nobody really wanted us. Some of you are familiar with these teachings, okay? Nobody wanted us because, and this is what they called us. You ready for this? They called us those most difficult to subdue, okay? Isn't that us? You know, we're not bad people, I'm just saying, but isn't that us? We are the most difficult to subdue. Look at our planet. War in Iran. Let's bomb Iran, right? Woo. Okay, or whatever else mess we're making. Okay. So they didn't want us. A lot of them, it was just too much. I mean, they want to help anybody, but they had other places they could go where they're like, these people are about to get enlightened. Those are the most difficult to subdue. And Shakyamuni Buddha, thank you to him, popped up and he said, well, I'll take them. I'll go there. Zambuling, those most difficult to do. I will take them. And this always gets me, okay? In the Guru Devotion teachings, then it says, the Guru is kinder than all that. The Guru is kinder than all that. So how amazingly compassionate and kind Shakyamuni Buddha that pops up to say, I will go there to help those beings that have nobody else, right? Well, the Guru is kinder than that. really kind. And fortunately, I've had context of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, his kindness to so many beings and myself. And maybe you have some context of some teachers that have been really kind to you. Focus on that, bring that to your heart, and really focus on those moments. So, but the other thing is maybe you say, but I don't have any of those moments. So you need to start creating those in your life to make sure. So that means partly you need to get to a center when there's a highly realized being teaching. See if you can get an appointment at some point with that being, if you have proper questions to ask. But mainly if you're doing your practice. So when you're doing your practice, some questions might pop up and you feel like I want to cultivate from my side, connecting with these beings. Okay, if you're sincere, if you're sincerely doing a practice, then you can ask for an appointment. You don't want to waste their time. That you're not just hanging out with them. That's not why we meet with teachers. But slowly through this, you do need to cultivate from your time. Watch their videos online. Try to go to a live stream if you can't get there, if it's across the world. When they're in your vicinity, get yourself in person to the teaching. Make the effort. Sometimes I've traveled a little bit to get to a teaching. It's always been worth it for me. It's always been worth the effort, right? And it creates a little bit of that streamlining of my path, some connection, something like that helps improve your cellular makeup and inspire you. Am I communicating? Does that make sense? So this is kind of the crux of what we want to do. So with that in mind, and what happens is without that basis, we don't progress along the path. We don't have much experiences. So we give it up. We go, this is too hard. I'm not really seeing results. So the Lamrim is also all laid out and designed. Each piece fits into the next piece, into the next piece. It's all there. It's all a perfect framework for your practice, for your mind, for your life. Okay, Lama Tsong Khapa Guru Yoga. So just let me know if you cannot see. And we're going to go, once again, just to familiarize you with the image. Here's Lama Tsong Khapa. Again, notice his implements, the sword to his right shoulder, the text to his left. These are some of the things we'll be visualizing this evening with the 7 wisdoms, his 2 disciples. Okay. And remember, we have all the beings around us, once again, and with them in mind, we are going to take refuge and generate bodhicitta. And thinking of in the space in front is Lama Tsong Khapa, and if you'd like, you could put a whole refuge field around him of different lamas, your own lamas, but again, at his heart, if you'd like, Shakyamuni Buddha. At that heart, your particular teacher, all of them are one. Or you can just think of Lama Tsong Khapa in the space in front, inseparable from all of these enlightened beings. And as we recite this, we're going to do this once in the English, twice in the phonetics, the refuge and bodhicitta prayer. So as we recite, just imagine from Lama Tsong Khapa's heart, okay, golden light rays are coming out of his heart, dissolving into your forehead. So he's slightly higher than the level of your head, and they're dissolving into your forehead, granting you all the blessings and realizations, and all deepening your refuge, but all the blessings and realizations of his enlightened consciousness. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. Let's do it one more time in English. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. O Sangye Chodan Soki Chonam La Jancho Bardu Da Ni Kya Suchi Dagi Jin Sogi Pe Sonam Ki Dro La Penchu Sangye Dro Parsho. Immeasurable equanimity. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the closeness of attachment and the distance of hatred. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. So just imagine for a moment all the beings you visualize around. We inhale any obstacles preventing them from having an equanimous mind. That comes in from all those beings as we inhale, going directly to our heart center where there is a constricted knot of our self-cherishing, and it only harms that. And anything that prevents us from having equanimity. And as we exhale, because we're freer and more spacious by reducing that, reducing the obstacles to equanimity, then we offer as we exhale to all of these sentient beings deep, pure equanimity, and it dissolves into them, bringing them that completely equanimous mind. Loving kindness. So again, Rinpoche has put it into different words using Buddhahood. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to achieve Buddhahood. May they achieve Buddhahood. I myself will cause them to achieve Buddhahood. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. So once again, as you inhale, what you inhale from all the living beings you visualize around you, any obstacles to achieving Buddhahood comes into you, disintegrating, dissolving your self-cherishing at your core. And as that leaves you freer and more spacious, you exhale all the bliss of achieving Buddhahood and that path to achieve Buddhahood, all that happiness dissolving into all these living beings. Immeasurable compassion. So wishing others to be free of suffering. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free from suffering and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. So we inhale whatever prevents them from having compassion, and it chips away at our self-cherishing at our core, releasing us, and we expand and exhale pure compassion to all these beings as it dissolves into them, freeing them from suffering. Measurable joy. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Once again, inhaling from all the sentient beings around us, whatever prevents them to have this immeasurable joy. And it dissolves and purifies our self-cherishing at our core. And for more spaciousness, we exhale ultimate happiness to all these living beings as it dissolves into them. So again, if you're doing this on your own, you don't have time to do it as extensively with the meditation, just read through the four immeasurables. When you have more time, you can do some Tonglen meditation. Lama Tsong Khapa in the space in front. And here we start the Ganden Laja, Ganden Lagema. So we can read together. From the heart of the Savior of the 100 deities of Tushita, on the peak of a cloud resembling a clump of extremely white fresh curd, King of Dharma, omniscient Losangdrapa, please come here together with your sons. So here you can visualize yourself offering beautiful golden thrones. So this way it's a place for them to remain for a long time, to stay in samsara, and they have a place to sit with the double vajra, which represents long life. In the sky before me, on a lion throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure guru smiles with delight. As a supreme field of merit for my mind of faith, please abide for hundreds of eons to spread the teachings. This is the 7 limbs. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech, with its excellent explanations, is an ornament for the ears of those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. To you who are meaningful to see, hear, and remember, I prostrate. So this way we're paying homage to the Buddha's holy body, speech, and mind. Making offerings. Pleasing drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incenses, lights, scented water, and so forth. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated. I offer to you the supreme field of merit. So if you'd like to take a moment, you can, and I forget, this version I think doesn't have the more extensive offerings in it. So there is a separate offering practice, but we can visualize, and sometimes people recite the multiplying mantra that we do to set up water bowls, but basically just take a moment, visualize what all the offerings it mentions, and they're spreading out, filling all the space of the finest qualities. And they're offerings that are completely empty in nature. They lack any concrete nature, any inherent existence. They merely operate and exist by depending on other things. That's how they come into being. Imagine them filling all the space and towering over all the holy shrines we can think of, Buddhist shrines like the stupa in Bodh Gaya, the stupas in Swayambhu, Bodha, all the temples, nunneries, monasteries, statues, libraries, tankas, stupas, all inseparable from one's own virtuous friend. And imagine the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Lama Tsong Khapa in the space in front, completely blissfully accept our offerings. The next limb, confession. Whatever non-virtues of body, speech, and mind I have collected from beginningless time, especially those opposite to the 3 vows, I confess each and every one from my heart with fervent regret. So whatever regret, you can have a moment here to feel heartfelt regret, how sorry you are. Rejoicing. You strove to accomplish much hearing in this degenerate age and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful by abandoning the 8 worldly concerns. Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. What are the 8 worldly concerns? Anybody? 8 worldly concerns. Sometimes called the 8 worldly dharmas. Feel free to unmute.
Is gain, loss.
Yep. So there are 4 pairs of situations, right? Gain and loss. And they'll say kind of more literally in Tibetan is being happy when you get something, being unhappy when you lose something or you don't get something. What's another pair?
Chris writes in the chat, fame and fortune.
Fame and fortune. Okay,
no, that was Sheil. I'm sorry. Chris wrote praise and
let's
blame.
go back. Let's go back to the first pair, pain and pleasure. So, okay, pain and pleasure is being happy when you feel good, being unhappy when you don't feel good. This is usually the order they give them in. Then you have gain and loss, being happy when you get something, being unhappy when you don't get something. Okay. Then somebody mentioned praise and blame, number 3. So being happy, and literally it says being happy when you hear pleasant sounds about you. Being unhappy when you hear unpleasant sounds about you, unpleasant words about you. Praise and blame. And the last is fame and dishonor. So it's not fame and fortune, it's fame and dishonor. Being happy when you have a good reputation, basically. Being unhappy when you have a bad reputation. Those are the 8 worldly dharmas, and those are situations, and check your life this week. These are situations that manipulate you through most every moment of your life. Okay, so you want to try to catch it and kind of say, you know, if somebody compliments you, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, thank you, and that's it. It's finished. I don't need to hold on and be like, I'm so great. They think I'm so great. So watch all those situations and see if you can apply a counter to it, because it really manipulates. It creates a negative karma for you. It's very common, and we get hooked by that a lot. 8 worldly dharmas. 8 worldly concerns, it says here. Okay. So with rejoicing, Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Let's just take a moment and rejoice at your good heart, the fact that you're here tonight, your good wishes and intentions, and let's also rejoice at all the incredible deeds of all the holy beings. It's the easiest way to accumulate merit or positive energy. Okay, now asking the Buddhas, holy beings to teach, to turn the wheel of Dharma. So you can visualize, as it says, numberless replicas of yourself in the form of Brahma, the God, the creator, I think like that, holding 1,000-spoked Dharma chakra, a golden wheel. So number replicas holding all these, and that represents, please teach. Okay, so the teachings continue like that. So you visualize as best as you can in that form while we recite this verse. Perfect, pure, holy gurus from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of Dharmakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the earth of those to be subdued exactly as they need. And the last limb is dedication. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and may it especially cause the essence of perfect, pure Losang Drakpa's teachings to shine forever. Again, Losang Drakpa is the ordination name of Lama Tsong Khapa. Mandala offering, which sets us up so we're making an offering so we can receive blessings during this practice. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine as a Buddha land and offer it. May all transmigratory beings enjoy this pure land. And we're going to read on. By the merits of offering this mandala to the merit field, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one, Losang Drakpa. And then we're going to skip to the second line, who lived an eminent life endowed with pure morality, a brave heart in doing the Bodhisattva's extensive deeds, and the yoga of the 2 stages, the supreme transcendental wisdom of non-dual bliss and emptiness. So just visualize that mandala, the world system spreading out, multiplying, filling all the space. Idam Guru Radna Mandala Kam Nirata Yami. So So we're going to do a little bit of the common meditations with Lama Tsong Khapa and the two disciples in front of us. And it's nice because the two disciples, Gyaltsab-je, the older disciples, Chen Reizig, the Buddha of Compassion. Lama Tsong Khapa technically is Manju Shri. That's why he has the sword on as one of the implements. And Kedrup-je, Vajrapani. So you've got that triple layered being of wisdom, compassion, and power, or skillful means. In the space in front, you focus on Lama Tsong Khapa in particular. Okay. And again, to become this effective Guru Yoga practice, you want to try to maintain that awareness. He is inseparable from your root guru, who is inseparable from these deities or inseparable from the Buddha. They are all one. Makes it more powerful for your mind. Okay? That, as if he really exists out there, as if he really exists out there. Okay? And so we can read together, by the force of my having fervently requested in this way, from the hearts of the three, the perfect pure Father and Sons, hollow beams of white light are emitted, combining into one. And so they're slightly over top your crown, and those three beams of light combine into one, okay, like straws. And then one beam comes out and enters your crown, comes into your crown. So imagine white nectar, color of milk, flows from the opening of the tube of white light at your crown, cleansing away all sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and their imprints without exception. And imagine that your body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. And so this is the visualization that we'll be doing when we recite this 5-line. This is the main mantra. Again, this is one of our Nundro, reciting this 5-line mantra. You can do it. And here you can read more about concentrate on purifying negative karmas collected since beginningless time, and the mind, heaviest talks about all these disturbing thoughts, especially with the guru that you're purifying. Very, very powerful if you think about it in that way. And thinking again about the triple layer being, it is Lama or Guru, the deity, Buddha, all are one. All are one, embodied in Lama Tsong Khapa. Okay? So you can say this mantra in English. You can say it in the Tibetan. I'm going to do some with you in the Tibetan, and then we'll go into the 7 wisdoms. Right now, we'll just keep it the simple visualization, that tube of white light coming down into your crown, and everything washing down and out, completely purifying. So we'll recite once in the English, and then I'll do some in the Tibetan. Chenresig, great treasure of non-objectifying compassion, Manjushri, master of stainless wisdom, Lord of secrets, destroyer of the entire host of Maras, Tsong Khapa, crown ornament of the sages of the land of snow, Losang Drakpa, at your holy feet I make requests. You can also do it any pace that you like. Let's do once more in English. Chenresig, great treasure of non-objectifying compassion, Manjushri, master of stainless wisdom, Lord of secrets, destroyer of the entire host of Maras, Tsong Khapa, crown ornament of the sages of the land of snow, Losang Drakpa, at your feet I make requests. Bime te wei ter chen chen rezi, dreame kempe wampo jamba liang, dupo malu jamze sangwe dag, ganchen kepe tugen Tsong Khapa, lozandra be zabla so wade. Just try your best to recite a few, as best as you can keep the visualization going. Okay, let's add the 7 wisdoms. Let's discuss the 7 wisdoms. So this is an additional, little bit more intensive way you can do the visualization, sometimes if you like. And what happens is this brings you wisdom. So sometimes we want to understand emptiness better. You want to pick up that book on emptiness that you've been putting off for a long time and have some understanding of it. Like that, you want to watch those emptiness videos, things like that, and really be able to have an understanding, be able to meditate effectively on emptiness. And so these wisdoms really help you generate that. Okay. Let's describe. So it begins with great wisdom, great wisdom. So you can, when you're doing this practice, you would just recite, please bless me to achieve great wisdom. And each wisdom's distinctive. So here it says, which is unimpeded in discerning the meanings of the infinite scriptures. Okay. And once again, the great wisdom flows, still coming down through that tube in your forehead, in your crown. Okay. But here it says specifically in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Okay. But basically, that orange nectar turns into tiny little Manjushris. So here's Manjushri, the Buddha of infinite wisdom. He holds a sword that cuts delusion, like that. And light radiates. So first you've got the nectar coming down. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar. Okay, and they're clarified in the form of perfect, pure Manjushris. And the great wisdom of the victorious ones are the 10 directions and their sons, and it absorbs into me in the form of the bodies of the deity, whereby my body is completely filled. So that the great wisdom associated with the little tiny, almost like if you visualize sunbeams filling your entire body of Manjushris, little tiny Manjushris. And then you would recite that. Let's do a little bit of the mantra once again with that visualization to attain great wisdom. So you can do it in the English or the phonetics. And just try to focus right now on attaining great wisdom. So you have the nectar transforming into the little Manjushris, and they're completely exploding and filling your entire body and mind, granting you great wisdom. Next wisdom, clear wisdom. Okay, so let's read this together. Please bless me to achieve clear wisdom, which clarifies the detailed, subtle, and difficult vital points without mixing them up. And once again, clear wisdom flows forth in the form of the orange nectar, whereby my body's filled. So from Lama Tsong and his 2 disciples coming through that tube of light into your crown, and here they're clarified. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, and they're clarified in the form of Manjushri's mantra. So Omarapatsana or Arapatsana, and here it is in the Tibetan, and here it is in the English. You can visualize either one, but tiny little mantras, again, like sunbeams, and the clear wisdom of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their son absorbs into me in the form of the mantras, whereby my body is completely filled. Arapatsana, Arapatsana. So while we'll recite the mantra, right here, try to visualize just the mantras. Light orange, light nectar coming down through the tube of light and then transforming into these mantras, completely filling your being. The next wisdom is quick wisdom. Quick wisdom. Who doesn't want quick wisdom, right? Please bless me. Let's recite together. Please bless me to achieve quick wisdom, which quickly cuts through non-understanding, misunderstanding, and doubt. And once again, quick wisdom flows forth in the form of the orange nectar and light rays. Your whole body is filled, okay? And filled with the orange nectar and light rays. And then the light radiates from those atoms of the nectar, and they're clarified in the form of the orange D. And the D syllable is the seed syllable of Manjushri. Omarapatsana D is often the full mantra. The D, so you're going to focus on either DHIH or that Tibetan syllable that you can see on the right side of the screen. Is the D. It's orange. So that transforms those light rays, completely fills your body, and the quick wisdom of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the seed syllables, whereby my body is completely filled while we recite the mantra. Try your best. Now just focused on the D. The next wisdom, profound wisdom. So there are 7 wisdoms, and what they say with the practice, if you don't have enough time, just mainly if you want to do the wisdoms, at least do the first 4. Okay? So let's read together. Please bless me to achieve profound wisdom, which is unfathomable in discerning the meanings of the scriptures. And once again, profound wisdom flows forth in the form of the orange nectar, whereby my body is filled, and then the light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of texts and swords. Again, Lama Tsongkhapa's implement, the profound wisdom of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons, absorbs into me in the form of the hand implements whereby my body is filled. So here they give you a sample of the text with the sword on top, sticking up like that. So you could visualize that. The nectar clarifies into that image, if you like, or you can visualize your own visualization of the text and swords. And again, filling your entire body with profound wisdom as you recite the mantra. And let's look at the fifth wisdom. Wisdom of explaining. Let's read. Please bless me to achieve the wisdom of explaining, which gives supreme ascertainment regarding all words and their meanings. So again, if you want to teach the Dharma, this is really helpful wisdom to be able to explain it clearly to people. Sometimes you have a great understanding, but you don't know how to explain it like that. And once again, the wisdom of explaining flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of the texts that are explained. So this is just the text now. The wisdom of explaining the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the text, whereby my body is filled. So try to visualize this while you're reciting the mantra. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong. Get back to the mantra here. Here we go. The sixth wisdom, wisdom of debating. Please bless me to achieve the wisdom of debating, which thoroughly deprives evil propounders of their self-confidence. Once again, the wisdom of debating flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled, and light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of wheels of swords. The wisdom of debating of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorbs into me in the form of the wheels, whereby my body is filled. So again, this is just these wheels of swords. So I actually visualize like sword wheels so that there's swords on the whole wheel going out around like that. And that's completely filling your body to grant you this wisdom of debating while we recite the mantra. And let's do the last wisdom, wisdom of composing. Oops. Please bless me to achieve the wisdom of composing, which gives rise to a joyous, clear understanding of the excellent words and their meanings. Once again, the wisdom of composing flows forth in the form of orange nectar, whereby my body is filled. Light radiates from the atoms of the nectar, which are clarified in the form of texts and wheels. So it's sword wheels and texts. The wisdom of composing of the victorious ones of the 10 directions and their sons absorb into me in the form of the texts and wheels whereby my body is filled. Here we go. Let's just read the mantra one more time. Shinrei Se, great treasure of non-objectifying compassion. Manjushri, master stainless wisdom. Lord of secrets, destroyer, the entire host of Maras. Tsong Khapa, crown ornament of the sages of the land of snow. Losang drop at your holy feet. I make requests. So all in all, it's a request. And here we come to some formal requests. We're going to read this 3 times and really feel from your heart. Again, so this is, if we could have all these wisdoms, okay, we'd have very, very deep realizations, right? I mean, much happier. You'd really be able to progress along the path, have deep faith, have realizations. I mean, amazing. So let's make this request 3 times. May my wisdoms of listening, reflecting, and meditating increase. May my wisdoms of explaining, debating, and composing develop. May I be granted the supreme and common realizations. Please bless me to quickly become like you. May my wisdoms of listening, reflecting, and meditating increase. May my wisdoms of explaining, debating, and composing develop. May I be granted the supreme and common realizations. Please bless me to quickly become like you. May my wisdoms of listening, reflecting, and meditating increase. May my wisdoms of explaining, debating, and composing develop. May I be granted the supreme and common realizations. Please bless me to quickly become like you. So I just want to stop there for a moment to explain. This is from your heart. This is creating the cause for these things to come. So that's how powerful it really is. We don't quite understand requests for the most part as Westerners, that you really need to call from your heart, and you can make specific requests. There's additional requests in this practice. And those requests really layer some virtue in your mind, especially if your mind is focused mindfully on those requests, what you're asking for. And you're asking for virtuous things. And what tends to be in our normal lives is the self-cherishing thought is asking over and over and over for the wrong things. I want a coffee. I need a new this, a new phone. That stuff's not going to get you enlightened. Okay. So it's not that there's anything wrong with any of that. And sometimes we do need something. Sometimes you go, yeah, I need a new computer. I need to do this. And fair enough. But that's all we're doing all day long is feeding the self-cherishing I, feeding all of that. And so when you make these requests, like I really want wisdom, I want to get enlightened. So I need wisdom and I need compassion and I need composing wisdom and I need profound wisdom and I need to be able to listen well and reflect on it and meditate on it. Isn't that really what we want? So think about that. Initially, it's foreign to you. You're not familiar with these prayers. It feels foreign. The more you do it, we're doing it very slowly now. This practice doesn't have to be an hour and a half long. Okay? You can do it in 15 minutes. Once you're familiar, you have your visualization from doing it over and over. I know what I'm thinking. I've got the Lama Tsong Khapa, inseparable from the Buddha, inseparable from my gurus. It's all there. The disciples, the wisdoms are coming. You do it every day for a couple of weeks. Then you got that that's in your tool belt. That's in your toolbox. And very powerful for you. You can reach for that. You can talk to Lama Tsong Khapa. You need help. That's who you go to in your heart, not separate from you. Not separate from you. Then slowly you can get highest yoga tantra initiation. Then you can understand on a different level. Like that. Very powerful. And then things really start unfolding in your practice. Okay, let's go on. Now here's another requesting paragraph. Let's read this. May my transcendental wisdom of simultaneously born great bliss arise. May my stains of mistakenly grasping things as real be purified. May my net of doubts that is only mine be cut. Please bless me to quickly become like you. 2 more times. May my transcendental wisdom of simultaneously born great bliss arise. May my stains of mistakenly grasping things as real be purified. May my net of doubts that is only mine be cut. Please bless me to quickly become like you. So think about the stains of mistakenly grasping things as real. We do that all day long. All day long we're doing that. That's the source of our suffering. So if those stains, if that can be purified, like, why don't we want to make a request like that? That's a very powerful request. Let's read it one more time. May my transcendental wisdom of simultaneously born great bliss arise. Well, that would make us happy, right? May my stains of mistakenly grasping things as real be purified. May my net of doubts that is only mine be cut. Please bless me to quickly become like you. Foundation of all good qualities. We're going to read once through this. We're going to stop at one section and we're going to meditate on death and impermanence just quickly. The foundation of all good qualities. I want you to, as we read, slowly reflect. This is all the Lamrim. So what parts of the Lamrim you're familiar with, the parts you're not familiar with, that's what you want to start reading a little bit, studying. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect guru. Correctly following the guru is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon the guru with great respect. When I have discovered that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is extremely difficult to find again, and is greatly meaningful, please bless me to unceasingly generate the mind, taking its essence day and night. Actually, I want to stop here. This is Precious Human Rebirth. I just want you to briefly reflect right now. Normally, if you want to stop and do some Lamrim meditation, please, 10, 20 minutes, and really familiarize yourself first with the Lamrim so you know exactly what you're meditating on. It's not kind of pausing and then suddenly reading the book. It's like you know, and in this case, Precious Human Rebirth, I just want you to reflect on your life, your current life. Now, we all have problems, I understand. Look at the advantages, though, of your life right now. We are not crossing the street, dodging bombs. I'm not running across a bombed out, dangerous area where bullets are flying to get my family a small loaf of crusty bread, of hard, dry bread. We have food everywhere, anytime we want it. Fresh, decent, clean, easily accessible. We live in relatively safe situations with food, clothing, and shelter. Just think about that. Unbelievable. This is your life that you have created. Can you breathe that in? That incredible appreciation. Just take a moment, reflect on other advantages of this life that you have. It's extraordinary. You have met the Dharma, associated with a center like Shantideva. You can think, relatively good health, good operating body and mind, maybe loving friends and family, and on and on. Incredible. And you have every perfect opportunity to practice Dharma and get yourself free, ultimately free. That exists for you in this life, right now. Drink it in. incredible. Your precious human life. It's extraordinary. Let's go on. This body and life are changing like a water bubble. Remember how quickly they perish and death comes. After death, just as a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white karma follow. When I have found definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be conscientious in abandoning even the slightest collection of shortcomings and accomplishing all virtuous deeds. When I've recognized the so that ends the first part of the Lamrim, takes you through karma at that point. Now we come into the sufferings, middle scope. When I've recognized the shortcomings of samsaric perfections, there is no satisfaction in enjoying them. They are the door to all suffering, and they cannot be trusted. Please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Through my being led by this pure thought with great remembrance, alertness, and conscientiousness, please bless me to make keeping the individual liberation vows the root of the teachings my essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother transmigratory beings. By my seeing this, please bless me to train in supreme bodhicitta, which bears the responsibility of freeing transmigratory beings. So this brings us into the great scope. Even if I develop only bodhicitta without familiarizing myself with the 3 types of morality, I cannot achieve enlightenment. By my seeing this well, please bless me to keep the vow of the sons of the victorious ones with fervent effort. By my having pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to quickly generate within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. When I have become a suitable vessel by training in the common path, please bless me to immediately enter the holy gateway of the fortunate beings, the supreme of all vehicles, the Vajrayana. So that's about Tantra. When you've got a good basis, foundation in your practice, then you can, with permission from your teacher, engage in tantric practice. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping my vows and samayas purely. When I have gained effortless conviction in this, please bless me to protect them even at the cost of my life. Then when I have realized exactly the vital points of the 2 stages, the essence of the tantric sets, and am enjoying the yoga for sessions with effort without being distracted by non-meditation objects, please bless me to accomplish these according to the teachings of the holy beings. Thus may the virtuous friends who reveal the noble path and the spiritual practitioners who correctly accomplish it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely the collections of outer and inner obstacles. In all my lives never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma, and by completing the qualities of the grounds and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Vajradhara is the primordial Buddha. So that concludes the foundation of all good qualities, the Lamrim prayer. If you don't have time for that, when you want to do this and learn the prayer more quickly, then you can skip that. And then when you have time and the practice goes more quickly, then please, it's good to add it in at times when you can meditate on the Lamrim, when you can fit that in. So requesting the Guru to come to my heart, magnificent and precious Guru. Again, these are the famous 3 verses, Palden Sawe. Magnificent and precious Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and grant me the realizations of your holy body, speech, and mind. Here's the second. We're asking for different realizations now. Magnificent and precious Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and grant me the supreme and common realizations. And lastly, magnificent and precious Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and remain steadfast until I attain the essence of enlightenment. So if you don't have highest yoga tantra, you can still recite those verses that say abide on the lotus and moon at my heart, but your visualization is going to be Lama Tsong Khapa in the space in front, again slightly higher than the level of your head, with the 2 disciples. And the 2 disciples, along with their thrones, dissolve into Lama Tsong Khapa. Okay? And then Lama Tsong Khapa melts into light and absorbs into your forehead. It's like a golden, radiant light dissolves into your forehead, and feel the blessings for your body, speech, and mind. So do that visualization, dissolving. And this is where we have an opportunity to meditate. So I know we're running out of time, but what I'd like you to do is you dissolve and you get those blessings for your body, speech, and mind. This is deity, Buddha, Guru. Three-layered being completely blesses your mind. Just let go for a moment. Let go concepts, but just notice any semblance of thoughts that arise, any semblance of the notion of yourself that arises. Any concreteness to those does not exist at all. It's simply coming from previous concretized imprints in your mind, from previous moments of ignorance and confusion. So no need to hold on to any of that. And in a sense, clearing that away, beneath is a space of awareness that is your mind. Spacious, luminous, blissful. If you can somehow taste that space for a moment, touch that space, and when the other concepts come, let them go, let them float off, remaining with the space of awareness that is your mind. If things get crowded with ideas and concerns you have, can you focus on the space between those thoughts, between those ideas or concerns? There is space there between them. Focus on that instead. Penetrate there. And let's dedicate the merit. By the force of the victorious one Tsong Khapa, acting as my direct Mahayana virtuous friend in all my lives, may I never turn away for even a second from the pure path highly admired by the victorious ones. May I be able to live a life of pure morality, listen to many teachings, train in bodhicitta, and have pure view and conduct without corrupting the teachings of Losang Drakpa, the second victorious one. Glorious Guru, whatever your holy body, retinue, lifespan, and realm, whatever your supreme and beneficial holy name, may I and others become exactly like that. Due to the 3-time merits collected by me, the numberless Buddhas, the numberless sentient beings, may I, my family members, all those sentient beings who rely upon me, all those for whom I promise to pray, all those whose names have been given to me, all the students, benefactors, volunteers in the FPMT organization, and all other sentient beings be able to meet perfectly qualified Mahayana virtuous friends in all our future lives. Okay, so there's a line you can pray for. You don't have a teacher, you don't know anything about a teacher, you can pray to meet perfectly qualified Mahayana virtuous friends in all our future lives. These are prayers and wishes that we make to have them. Be careful for what you wish for, okay? Sometimes we wish for other stuff that's really not beneficial, okay? And then we'll continue on. From our side, may we always see them as enlightened. May we always do only actions most pleasing to their holy minds. May we always fulfill their holy wishes instantly. So you really want to think about the words that you're saying. Do you understand them all? Do they make sense? May not give rise to heresy for even a second. In regard to the actions of the glorious Guru, may I see whatever actions are done as the stainless actions of a Buddha. With this devotion, may I receive the Guru's blessings in my heart. And long life prayer for His Holiness, incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. May you have a long life and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And I'm just going to conclude with Lama Zopa Rinpoche's prayer to return. Here we go. We'll read the first one by His Holiness. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas. Oops, sorry. Let's see if I can make that bigger. Victorious Losang Father and Sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings, through explanation and practice, you wear the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Let's see if I can find the rest of this. Oops. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. So I'm just looking, somebody wrote, if you want to meditate on a Lamrim topic, after the Guru Yoga, should you do it while reciting the foundation of all good qualities or after the request? Yes, a good question. So ideally, if you want to include the foundation of all good qualities, and at least once a day read that, you can include it there. Sometimes people do it before they do the dissolution. Then you can think about a Lamrim topic. So sometimes people don't have the time to read the whole foundation of all good qualities, but they're familiar enough with the Lamrim to insert whatever Lamrim meditation they're working on that particular time. You can do it there before the dissolution. And sometimes it's nice with the dissolution. I like to meditate on the nature of mind. And again, we didn't have a lot of time tonight, but I wanted to explain the practice. And you can meditate on emptiness and the nature of mind. And it just gets to be more and more powerful because you're really getting a blessing for your mind like that. Any other questions, please? Yes, Barry.
When you say meditate on the Lamrim, I'm still a little confused. If someone says, pick up the Bible, I know this is the book I can pick up. When you say the Lamrim, I have the idea it's many books.
Okay, so the Lamrim, there are a lot of Lamrims. However, it's our foundational philosophy and practice. So what I would suggest is there's courses called Discovering Buddhism that Shantideva offers with Gus, I believe. And that takes you right through the Lamrim. Like each course is almost one of, but the other thing you could do is, Barry, I would start with the simpler books on the Lamrim. And one of them is called The Essential Nectar or The Essence of Nectar. It's the same book, just sometimes listed under two different titles. The Essential Nectar is one of our preliminary beginner Lamrim books. Perfect. And don't feel like we're above it, like, oh, I'm not a beginner. It's perfect. And you go through the topics and you start familiarizing yourself with the philosophy. Here's another book that's really simple. It's an outline of, and it's called The Essence of Refined Gold, is another Lamrim book. Very easy to understand. The Essence of Refined Gold. So I would start with those before you head into something called Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand, because that's a big book, very dense, and a lot of detail. So we have different levels of Lamrim, one of the biggest being the Great Treatise of the Lamrim Chenmo, but wait and do the preliminary ones. Again, you may also like a beautiful gush of the Lamrim by His Holiness, and that is called, I think it's called A Path to Bliss. So again, this is the title of a Lamrim book, The Path to Bliss. Well, who doesn't want that, right? But this way you start to familiarize yourself. So I'll give you an example. If it says, beginning of the Lamrim is Precious Human Rebirth, okay? So if you say, well, what do I meditate? And the other thing I would recommend, and maybe Sheila or Patty has the outline, that cheat sheet I had given out before, is to send it to Barry or anybody in this class, because what I did is kind of gave some structure to a daily practice. And it has in there Lamrim outline. So this is, again, my, let me see if I can add that in the chat. The reason is I gave links of exactly where the book is. So there's something called Lamrim outlines. And what happens is when people hear this, then they don't know where to go to find it. So this cheat sheet, do you guys have the cheat sheet from before that you can send out? All right, let me see if I can I'm just going to see.
Familiar with that.
Because I sent it before let me just see if I can find it in, or what I'll do is I'll send it to Sheila or Patty after, and they can send it out to everybody in the class. What I did was Lamrim outlines tell you kind of the essence of what you need to meditate on with each subject. So that is a great component. So if you say Precious Human Rebirth, if you're and you want to meditate on that, like we were just doing tonight, but that's made up, actually, the Precious Human Rebirth is made up of 8 freedoms and 10 richnesses. And what you want to do is slowly go through one at a time and really say, well, I'm free from being in the animal realm. You know, well, what's the significance of that? What does that mean to you? So some people think that animals, it's a great rebirth to be your cat who gets to sleep all day while you go to work. But you have to really be in the cat's mind and see what their life is like. It's not a pleasant experience, trust me. So there is comfort in their lives, our pets, but most animals are not pets. Most animals live in the sea, the insect realm. Most animals are being hunted, killed, eaten, or they're killing. It's not a pleasant, animal realm's not a pleasant thing. So you need to slowly go into that, be the animal, be in the mind of the animal. What's it like to look out through their eyes? And so the 8 freedoms, 10 riches, you want to do it with each of those. So you take like one a day and you break it down slowly. And so it takes time first to read the Lamrim, understand what you're talking, make a little outline for yourself. But the Lamrim outlines help. And on that cheat sheet are other components of Lamrim books that are easy to, and some of them are guided meditations. So that way you can familiarize yourself. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You can do. It's really helpful for you. Sheil.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sheila.
No, I just want to ask if that cheat sheet starts with the 3 jewels of refuge, and then you have Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, or is that a different cheat sheet?
It's one about how to do your daily practice.
Oh, okay. This is something else.
Yeah, that might be something. I'm not sure what that is, but that might be something else. Yeah.
Another cheat sheet.
I'll email it to the two of you, and then because it's really great for people trying to get this. And again, this is just Lama Zopa Rinpoche's style, and I even included Rinpoche's advice. So it is one style, but it's one that I am absolutely convinced works for your mind. But again, it takes effort. You have to apply yourself to it and do it. So, and what you do is, what you'll see on the sheet, there's a lot of stuff listed, one at a time. Like break it down. Don't do it just one at a time. Do something take one of the practices and try it for like 2 to 4 weeks and see how it fits. Then you feel okay and it's going to go more quickly. Then go to the next thing on there and go, okay, what's this about? And then eventually, slowly, it'll all start making sense. Then you can come back and ask more questions like that. Thanks. Sheil.
Hi. Yeah, actually, I was gonna ask you about what that meditating part was and how we do it now. I get it. I'm gonna try it. I wanted to just, if you can briefly, like in a few sentences, just explain that part we read where it says we touch things that are not real all the time. What is that referring to? What does that mean?
In one of the wisdoms, was it?
Yeah,
About
we were reading it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically about creating, we're creating stuff that isn't, we're grasping onto things that don't exist the way they appear. So it's relating to emptiness. I think that's what it was talking about. I have to see the exact sentence, but yeah, basically we're constantly grasping onto stuff that doesn't matter and that doesn't at all exist the way it appears to us.
So
Yeah, and that's the source of a lot of our suffering.
So is that the dependent arising it's talking about?
Well, it's related to that. Emptiness is always related to dependent arising, that everything arises in dependence on other things, but that's not how we interpret stuff. We interpret it as existing in its own right, concretely, inherently, like that.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So slowly, it takes more time to study and adjust like that and explore. Freya? Am I saying your name right?
Hello. Yes, thank you so much. Good morning or good evening for you. I just have a quick question. It's not related to the text, but it is related to the Ngondro that you talked about. Because I'm going to do my Ngondro this year, but it is from a different lineage in my school. I live in Bauda, and
oh, great.
So yes, and I wanted to ask you, how can I implement, like at what time can I implement the Miktsema Ngondro? Because that is really close to my heart and I really want to do it.
Mm-hmm. You look like you're in Boda with the green room, the green paint on the walls. Looks like a Boda room.
Now I'm in Farping right now.
Oh, you're in Farping. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's a favorite place of mine. Guru Yoga Nundro, that's called the Guru Yoga Nundro, which is pretty standard for Nyingma, Kagyu, Gelugpa. We all do a Guru Yoga Nundro. Theirs might be slightly different, but they're similar. So if you just choose that you want to do that Nundro, I tended to do mine with Lama Tsong Khapa, with this practice. I did it on a highest yoga tantra level, so it was a slightly different visualization that I had initiation for. But you can just do it like that, and then you just be reciting that 5-line verse. And the standard Nundro is 100,000 times.
Yeah.
So you would just keep track and find a way to count, to keep track of the mantras. And, you're supposed to do 10% more. So my rosary, my mala has, my rosary has 111 beads, so it's automatically got an extra 10%. And it's helpful to do it because we make a lot of mistakes when we're reciting mantras and we get distracted. And so it's a very, very powerful nundro to do, especially doing it, seeing those images as inseparable from your guru, inseparable from the Buddha. Very powerful way to do it. Is that helpful? Is that what you mean?
Yes, because I would do my Monroe at the Kanyin Shirobling Monastery, and that is Chukini Rinpoche. And
Yeah.
it's because they don't imply the Miktsima, but I really want to do it in my Monroe, so that's why I wanted to ask.
So
I can
which
just
do they do a
add it.
different? Do they do a different mantra, or do they?
Yeah,
the
they do
nundro they
the standard Nyingmapa
Okay.
Monroe. So
Right. So that's what I said. Everybody. So again, if he's your teacher, he's wonderful. How is he? How's he doing?
he's doing great now.
I
They're
maybe
in
saw him
Lamrim
last year. I think. Yeah, he was one of the early lamas I met. He was really young, and it was so fun to meet him when I first met the Dharma. And there were just 2 gompas in Boda at the time, if you can imagine. There was just nothing there. It was great. He's wonderful. So if he's your guru, I would really take your advice from him of what's best if you see him as your main guru.
He's not really. He's just because I study at the school. So my teacher is in Germany. I'm from Germany, and
Okay.
So it's a little bit for the lineages. I'm having a little bit of a
Okay. Is your teacher in Germany? Is your teacher in Germany Gelugpa lineage?
Yes.
Okay. So the main thing is, if you're a little bit newer, I would try not to mix lineages too much. So again, if your teacher's in Germany, you might then consult with him of what he suggests for Guru Yoga and Nundro. But this is standard in our tradition with Lamas Operamshe, the standard Guru Yoga Nundro, the way we tend to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and do the best you can. That's great. That's fantastic.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you so much for teaching.
So if you want to do the Nundro according to the Gelugpa tradition, we have the most. We have 9 technical traditional ones, but Lama Rinpoche sometimes added. The main thing is purification and accumulation of merit. So whatever's going to get you there, everybody has their own makeup, and so the main thing is to consult with your guru. I would really suggest you do that to make sure that you're doing the best one for you to start and what you have interest to do. They're happy to hear that too. It's better to guide a steer a moving vehicle. So I would if you can have a discussion with them about what they'd suggest you start with, that could be helpful. And you get that blessing as well. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you so much, Venerable.
Yeah, I love to hear people doing their nundro because they really work, and it's gives you something to focus on, but it really purifies and helps you accumulate conditions to progress on the path. They really work. Yes. Thank you. Anything else, please? Everybody okay? So we've had a couple passes through this practice. Just what I would please for homework, I want you to at least once this week, maybe twice, do the practice. So this way you're going to remember the wisdoms. You're going to remember what you're supposed to be doing. If you leave it, then you forget, then it fades away. So see if you can do the practice again. It will get faster and faster as you get more familiar, and just do it as best you can. If you can't do it all in one sitting, break it up through the day. That's okay. Anyway, thank you so much. It's lovely to see all of you. Thank you, Shanti Davis Center, Sheila, and Patty for hosting. Thank you so much. And try your best. And we have one more session. And then look forward to seeing you in person in July. And may whatever merit we have created as well, let's to help all the beings around the planet and in all world systems, and especially to, as best as possible, to end all the conflict and war all over the planet. And for all the people that are suffering right now in any way, may they have a release from suffering immediately, and for the long lives of our precious teachers and the return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche in the most appropriate time and manifestation. Thank you so much.